Have you ever found yourself getting angry or upset by the smallest things, whether it's a rude comment, a difficult situation, or an unreasonable person? Do you wish you could keep your cool no matter what life throws at you? What if I told you that you have the power to stay calm and composed in any situation, to stop letting others' behavior control your emotions, and to regain your peace of mind instantly? If you're tired of being easily triggered, if frustration and anger seem to be taking over your life, or if you struggle with handling conflict without getting emotionally overwhelmed, then you're in the right place. This video is for anyone who wants to break free from the emotional roller coaster of anger, frustration, and stress. Whether you're dealing with challenging co-workers, difficult family dynamics, or simply want to learn how to be more patient and composed, the lessons shared in this video will help you transform your mindset. By applying these 9 powerful lessons, you'll train your mind to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. You'll discover how to regain control over your emotions, embrace life's challenges with resilience, and never allow another person to steal your peace again. Imagine handling tough situations with grace, brushing off criticism, and approaching conflicts with calmness and understanding. It's time to unlock the secret to emotional freedom and build deeper, more meaningful relationships without being shaken by anything or anyone. Let's dive in and learn how you can stop getting angry or bothered by anyone and reclaim your inner strength. 1. Focus on what you can control. One of the most common sources of frustration and anger comes from attempting to control things that are completely outside of our power. We often get upset when we try to change other people's behavior, the actions of those around us, or the outcome of a situation that we cannot influence. It's easy to slip into the trap of thinking that if we just try harder or push more, things will go our way. However, the reality is that we cannot control the actions of others, nor can we predict or determine the outcome of every situation. What we can control, however, is how we respond to these situations and how we manage our emotions. When we shift our focus from trying to control external circumstances to focusing on how we respond to them, we regain a sense of empowerment. Instead of becoming overwhelmed by the uncontrollable, we redirect our energy towards our own actions, thoughts, and feelings, which we do have the power to influence. This simple yet profound change in mindset allows us to stop feeling helpless and frustrated, and instead, we can approach challenges with calm and composure. Consider the example of being stuck in traffic. It's a situation that can easily cause stress and frustration, especially when you're in a rush. However, if you stop yourself from dwelling on the fact that you can't change the traffic, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. Instead of focusing on the delay, you can use the time to your advantage. For instance, you could take a moment to listen to a podcast, practice deep breathing exercises, or simply enjoy a moment of quiet. By focusing on what you can control, your mindset and how you choose to use your time, you reduce the emotional burden of the situation. Similarly, think about receiving a negative or unfair comment from someone. It's easy to react defensively, feel hurt, or get angry. However, when you remind yourself that you can't control what others say, you can instead focus on how you choose to react. You might decide not to take the comment personally or let it affect your self-esteem. Or you could engage in a calm and constructive conversation, explaining your point of view without getting defensive. In either case, you are focusing on controlling your own reaction rather than trying to control the other person's opinion or behavior. This helps you maintain your peace of mind and avoid being dragged into unnecessary conflict. Another example is when things don't go according to plan, such as a work project running behind schedule or an event being disrupted. It's easy to get frustrated when things go awry, but focusing on what you can control in these situations can help you regain your sense of calm. You can focus on adjusting your approach, coming up with solutions, and staying flexible rather than getting upset about the circumstances that are out of your hands. To apply this principle in your everyday life, it's helpful to develop a simple practice for when you feel yourself getting upset. Start by asking yourself, can I control this situation or this person's actions? If the answer is no, acknowledge it and make a conscious decision to let go of the need to control it. Then focus on what you can control: your actions, your thoughts, and how you choose to react. This shift in focus can have a profound impact on your emotional well-being. One strategy to practice when you feel frustrated is to take a moment to pause and breathe deeply. A few deep breaths give you a chance to create space between the situation and your reaction. It's a simple but powerful tool to regain composure and help you see the situation more clearly. This pause allows you to avoid knee-jerk reactions and instead make a thoughtful, calm decision about how to respond. Another helpful practice is to mentally reframe the situation. For instance, instead of viewing a challenging situation as something that's happening to you, try reframing it as something that is happening for you. This shift can help you see opportunities for growth and learning in even the most frustrating circumstances. It allows you to embrace challenges as part of your journey rather than as roadblocks to your happiness. Lastly, as you continue to apply this approach, it becomes easier to recognize that you don't have to control everything in your life to be at peace. The acceptance that some things are simply out of your hands is incredibly freeing. Letting go of the need to control the uncontrollable not only reduces frustration, but also enables you to live with greater serenity and resilience. In time, focusing on what you can control becomes second nature. You'll notice that you react less impulsively, experience less stress, and feel more at peace with yourself. By focusing on your own responses and letting go of the need to control everything around you, you create an emotional space where peace and clarity can thrive. You'll build a stronger, more resilient mindset that will empower you to face life's challenges without being shaken. 2. Respond, don't react. When faced with criticism, stress, or difficult situations, the natural instinct is often to react immediately. This knee-jerk response, driven by emotions like frustration or defensiveness, can lead to unnecessary conflict, misunderstandings, and regret. Reacting impulsively often clouds our judgment and makes it harder to communicate effectively. In these moments, taking a brief pause before responding can significantly change the outcome of the situation, allowing you to respond more thoughtfully and in a way that aligns with your values. Pausing gives you the space to process your emotions and assess the situation more clearly. Instead of being caught up in an emotional reaction, you can step back and choose a response that serves your best interests and helps preserve your peace of mind. This practice of pausing allows you to break the cycle of reacting out of anger or frustration, giving you the power to respond in a calm, composed, and intentional manner. Over time, this shift from reactive to reflective responses can improve your relationships and help you handle challenging situations with greater grace. For example, imagine receiving a harsh comment from a colleague or supervisor. The initial instinct may be to defend yourself immediately or retaliate with a sharp response. However, reacting in this way can escalate tensions and potentially harm your relationship with the person. Instead, by taking a moment to pause and breathe, you give yourself the opportunity to consider the best way to address the criticism. You may decide to ask for clarification, thank the person for their feedback, or calmly explain your perspective without becoming defensive. By taking a pause, you ensure that your response is measured rather than driven by emotion. Similarly, in situations where you're facing stress or pressure, such as a busy workday or a tight deadline, it's easy to become overwhelmed and lash out at those around you. Instead of reacting impulsively to the stress, you can take a brief pause to regroup. A few deep breaths or a moment of silence can help you regain focus, reduce anxiety, and approach the situation with a clearer mind. This can prevent you from snapping at others or making decisions that you might regret later. An actionable strategy to apply in these moments is to practice the 5-second rule. When you feel yourself getting triggered or upset, take 5 seconds to breathe deeply and collect your thoughts. During those 5 seconds, focus solely on your breath and try to ground yourself in the present moment. This simple practice can help you detach from the immediate emotional response and allow you to decide how to handle the situation with more composure. Another helpful technique is to count to 5 slowly in your mind. As you do this, focus on letting go of any tension in your body. By concentrating on counting, you allow yourself to distance from the emotional surge, giving you the opportunity to approach the situation from a place of calm rather than reactivity. You can also use this time to assess the situation, consider the possible outcomes of different responses, and choose the most constructive one. In addition, during more high-stakes interactions, it can be helpful to have a mental script prepared for when you need to pause. For example, if you're in a disagreement, remind yourself of phrases like, "Let's take a step back for a moment," or "I need a second to think this through." These phrases can help you buy the time needed to respond with poise and prevent you from diving into the conversation too quickly. With practice, pausing before responding becomes a habit. As you cultivate this habit, you'll find that you're less likely to engage in emotional outbursts or snap reactions. Instead, you'll approach difficult situations with greater clarity, empathy, and understanding. By taking the time to pause, you not only avoid conflict, but you also model emotional intelligence and self-control. This creates an environment where you can engage in meaningful dialogue, build stronger relationships, and maintain a sense of inner peace, even in challenging situations. 3. Reframe the situation. Often, we become upset or frustrated not because of the actual event, but due to the way we interpret it. Our emotional responses are heavily influenced by how we perceive the actions or words of others. For example, when someone makes a rude comment, it's easy to feel personally attacked, even though the comment may not have been intended that way. Similarly, when plans change unexpectedly, we might feel disappointed or even betrayed, when in reality, the situation might have been out of anyone's control. These reactions are often shaped by our own assumptions, beliefs, and interpretations of the situation. By changing our perspective and considering alternative viewpoints, we can diffuse these emotional triggers and approach challenging situations with greater understanding and calm. The key is to recognize that our initial reaction is often based on our perception, and perceptions are not always accurate. Instead of assuming that someone's actions are directed at us personally, or that the circumstances are inherently unfair, we can choose to pause and consider what might be going on beneath the surface. When we understand that other people's behavior is often driven by their own struggles, stress, or personal experiences, it becomes easier to respond with empathy rather than anger. For instance, if a colleague snaps at you during a meeting, it's natural to feel offended or upset. However, instead of reacting defensively or taking it as a personal attack, try to ask yourself, what might they be going through? Perhaps they're facing pressure at work, dealing with personal stress, or feeling overwhelmed by the workload. By recognizing the external factors influencing their behavior, you can avoid escalating the situation and choose a more compassionate response. You might decide to give them space or offer help, rather than retaliating with frustration. In another example, imagine a close friend suddenly cancels plans, leaving you feeling hurt or abandoned. Instead of assuming that they don't value your time or friendship, try to consider what might be happening in their life. Maybe they're going through a tough time, feeling exhausted, or facing unexpected challenges. By shifting your perspective and understanding their situation, you can approach the situation with empathy rather than disappointment. You could reach out and express concern, offering support instead of resentment. An actionable strategy to apply in these situations is to ask yourself the simple question, what might the other person be going through? This simple shift in thinking can significantly alter the way you perceive their actions. When you stop viewing their behavior through a lens of personal attack, it allows you to respond from a place of compassion, patience, and understanding. Another helpful approach is to put yourself in their shoes. Try to imagine how you would act or feel if you were dealing with similar circumstances. For example, if someone is short with you on a busy day, imagine how you might behave if you were juggling multiple stressful tasks or feeling under pressure. This exercise of empathy can help you understand that their behavior is not necessarily a reflection of you, but rather a reflection of their own emotions or situation. In addition, it's important to remind yourself that everyone has their own struggles and experiences that shape their behavior. People's actions are often influenced by their moods, stress, past experiences, and even physical health. By recognizing that these factors are at play, you can approach the situation with a more balanced and rational mindset, which will help you avoid reacting impulsively. When you make a conscious effort to change your perspective, you'll find that many situations that once triggered anger or frustration no longer have the same emotional power over you. Instead of feeling victimized or upset, you'll approach interactions with greater openness, patience, and empathy. This shift in perspective not only helps you maintain your peace of mind, but it also enhances your relationships, creating an environment of mutual understanding and respect. By learning to interpret the actions of others in a more compassionate light, you can navigate life's challenges with greater ease and emotional resilience. 4. Accept life's imperfections. Life is filled with unexpected twists and turns, and often things don't go as planned. We all encounter situations where people let us down, events don't unfold the way we hoped, or we face challenges that seem unfair. When we hold on to unrealistic expectations, expecting perfection from ourselves, others, or life itself, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. This constant striving for an ideal that is out of our control can lead to unnecessary stress and anger. Accepting that life, people, and situations are inherently imperfect can help us navigate these moments with greater ease and emotional resilience. By learning to embrace imperfection, we free ourselves from the burden of constant dissatisfaction and create space for growth and adaptability. Accepting imperfection doesn't mean giving up on our goals or lowering our standards. Rather, it's about understanding that setbacks, mistakes, and imperfections are a natural part of life, and they offer valuable lessons that can help us grow. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to feel angry, frustrated, or defeated, but these emotional responses only keep us stuck in the past, preventing us from moving forward. By accepting imperfection, we can shift our focus from the disappointment of unmet expectations to the opportunity for learning and growth that comes with every challenge. For example, imagine you've been working hard on a project and something goes wrong. Maybe a colleague misses an important deadline, or the outcome isn't as successful as you had hoped. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, remind yourself that setbacks happen and they are part of the journey. By acknowledging that not everything will always go according to plan, you can shift your mindset from focusing on the setback to asking, what can I learn from this? Maybe it's a lesson in patience, communication, or adaptability. Embracing this perspective allows you to approach the situation with a solution-focused mindset, rather than getting stuck in negativity. Another example could be when you're dealing with a personal relationship and a friend or loved one doesn't meet your expectations. Perhaps they forget an important date, or they don't offer the support you were hoping for. Instead of letting this trigger anger or resentment, ask yourself, what might be happening in their life that caused them to act this way? Maybe they are dealing with their own struggles, and their actions aren't a reflection of you, but of their own challenges. Recognizing that imperfection is a part of every person and every relationship can help you respond with compassion rather than frustration. The key strategy to apply in these situations is to shift your focus from the disappointment of things, not going as planned, to the opportunity to learn and grow. When something goes wrong, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? This simple question encourages you to move beyond the emotion of the moment and take a more constructive approach. It helps you identify lessons that you can apply in the future, turning frustration into a valuable teaching moment. Additionally, practicing mindfulness can help you embrace imperfection in real time. When you find yourself getting upset about a setback or imperfect situation, take a deep breath and center yourself. Acknowledge the feeling of frustration without judgment and remind yourself that it's okay for things to be imperfect. This pause allows you to accept the situation without getting overwhelmed by your emotions, and it gives you the space to choose a calm, measured response. Another helpful approach is to reframe your thinking by focusing on progress rather than perfection. Instead of viewing life's challenges as failures, see them as opportunities for growth. For instance, if a goal or task doesn't turn out as expected, recognize the effort you put in and the lessons you've gained along the way. This mindset not only reduces the likelihood of anger, but also helps you develop resilience in the face of adversity. When you accept that imperfection is a natural part of life, you stop expecting the world and people to behave in ways that are beyond their control. This shift in mindset allows you to release the pressure of perfection and focus on how you can adapt, learn, and move forward. As a result, you'll find yourself feeling less disappointed and frustrated, and more empowered to face challenges with patience, understanding, and resilience. By embracing imperfection, you'll gain the emotional freedom to accept life as it comes, both the good and the bad, and respond with calm, clarity, and a focus on growth. This mindset will not only reduce unnecessary anger, but will also allow you to build stronger relationships, adapt to life's uncertainties, and move through challenges with a sense of peace and purpose. 5. Take responsibility for your emotions. One of the most empowering lessons in managing anger and emotional reactions is realizing that your emotions are entirely within your control. Often people tend to blame others for their feelings, particularly when it comes to anger or frustration. It's easy to think, they made me angry, or I couldn't help it, they pushed my buttons. However, the truth is that no one can make you feel anything without your consent. Your emotional responses are driven by your interpretation of events and your personal choices in how to react. Once you acknowledge that you are in control of your emotions, you gain the power to change how you respond to situations, even when they trigger strong feelings. Taking responsibility for your emotions means recognizing that you have the ability to manage and adjust them. While we can't always control the circumstances around us, we can choose how to respond to them. For example, when a colleague makes a rude comment, your first instinct might be to feel hurt or angry. However, if you take a step back and acknowledge that your anger is a result of your interpretation of the situation, you can reframe your response. Instead of reacting impulsively, you might choose to remain calm, let the comment slide, or even address it in a composed and respectful way. A powerful strategy to apply is to pause and reflect on your feelings in the moment. When you begin to feel anger rising, ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? And is this something I can control? By reflecting on your emotions, you can identify the root cause of your reaction and assess whether it's an appropriate response. Often, we discover that our anger is triggered by our own unmet expectations or assumptions rather than the actual situation at hand. For example, if a friend cancels plans, you might feel upset because you were looking forward to spending time together. However, asking yourself why you're angry might reveal that your frustration stems more from a sense of disappointment rather than the friend's actions. This realization allows you to choose a more measured and thoughtful response. Another strategy is to reframe your thoughts. When you feel anger rising, try shifting your perspective on the situation. Instead of thinking, this is unfair and I'm being treated badly, try reframing it as, this is inconvenient, but it's not personal. This change in mindset helps you separate yourself from the emotion and makes it easier to move past the initial anger. By reframing the situation, you give yourself the opportunity to regain control and choose how to proceed in a way that's in line with your values and emotional goals. Taking responsibility for your emotions also involves recognizing the power of your own narrative. How you interpret the actions of others and the world around you has a direct impact on your emotional state. For instance, if someone cuts you off in traffic, you might feel anger or frustration. But if you choose to view the situation with compassion, thinking, maybe they're late and under pressure, the emotional charge weakens and you're less likely to react with anger. The key is to remember that your emotions are based on your perception, and you have the ability to change how you perceive a situation. By taking ownership of your emotional responses, you no longer give others the power to dictate how you feel. Instead, you become more grounded and centered, able to choose your reactions rather than being swept away by them. This not only reduces the intensity of anger, but also allows you to navigate difficult situations with grace and composure. When you take responsibility for your emotions, you take control of your happiness and well-being, making it easier to let go of unnecessary frustration and embrace a healthier, more positive approach to life's challenges. 6. Practice gratitude. When we constantly focus on what frustrates us or dwell on negative experiences, we make ourselves more vulnerable to stress and emotional turmoil. Our minds naturally gravitate toward problems, and the more we think about them, the more they seem to dominate our thoughts and emotions. However, one of the most effective ways to combat stress and anger is by shifting our focus from what's going wrong to what's going right. Gratitude has the power to completely change our emotional state, helping us to reduce frustration, increase feelings of contentment, and create a sense of peace, even in the midst of challenging circumstances. Gratitude isn't just about being thankful for the big things in life, like relationships or accomplishments. It's about recognizing the small, often overlooked blessings that surround us every day. For example, you might find yourself in a frustrating situation, like waiting in a long line or dealing with a technical issue. Instead of focusing on your frustration, you could shift your thoughts to the things you are thankful for in that moment. Perhaps it's the fact that you have access to a smartphone to pass the time, or that you're in good health, able to experience these moments, even if they're inconvenient. By practicing gratitude, you begin to see the world through a more positive lens. One of the simplest ways to incorporate gratitude into your life is through a daily practice. It might be as easy as keeping a gratitude journal where you jot down 3 things you're thankful for each day. This can range from the mundane, like the delicious breakfast you had that morning, to the more significant, like the support of a close friend during tough times. The key is to make this practice a habit so that it becomes second nature to notice the good in your life, no matter how small. This shift in perspective can have a profound impact on your emotional resilience. As you continue to focus on gratitude, it helps you to redirect your attention away from frustration. For example, if you're faced with a difficult customer or co-worker at work, instead of reacting emotionally, take a step back and focus on what you appreciate about your work environment. Maybe it's the fact that you're doing meaningful work, or that you have co-workers who are supportive and kind, even if one person is difficult to deal with. By shifting your focus to these positive aspects, you'll feel less agitated by the challenging situation and more able to respond calmly and effectively. Another strategy to apply is to actively practice gratitude in your interactions with others. For example, the next time someone does something kind for you, whether it's a colleague helping with a task or a friend offering a thoughtful compliment, take a moment to express your appreciation. Thanking others helps reinforce the gratitude habit, not just in yourself, but also in those around you. This can create a ripple effect, where others also feel more inclined to focus on the positives in their lives. In addition, practicing gratitude can help improve relationships. When you approach others with gratitude, even in difficult moments, you create a more understanding and empathetic environment. For instance, if a friend or family member is going through a tough time and they're taking out their frustration on you, instead of reacting with anger, try shifting your focus to what you can be grateful for about your relationship. This can help you approach the situation with compassion rather than defensiveness and promote healthier communication. It's also helpful to recognize that gratitude isn't just about acknowledging the good in your own life. It can also be about finding the positive aspects of difficult situations. For example, if you're facing a setback, like a job rejection or a project not going as planned, instead of getting discouraged, you can choose to be grateful for the lessons the experience is teaching you. Perhaps the rejection opens doors to other opportunities, or the failure provides valuable insights that can help you grow. Shifting your focus in this way prevents negative emotions from taking over and helps you maintain a positive, growth-oriented mindset. Another practice to enhance your gratitude mindset is to set aside time for mindful reflection at the start or end of each day. Whether you do this during your morning routine with a cup of coffee or as part of your evening wind-down, dedicating a few minutes to reflect on your gratitude can significantly improve your emotional well-being. You can do this by simply pausing and recalling moments from the day that made you feel happy, appreciated, or at peace. Reflecting on these moments helps you anchor your thoughts in gratitude rather than frustration or resentment. Lastly, sharing. Gratitude with others can have a profound impact on your own emotional state. It's not just about saying thank you, but truly expressing what others' actions mean to you. This deepens your connections with people and encourages them to share their gratitude as well. Acknowledging the efforts of those around you not only boosts their spirits, but also creates a positive, supportive atmosphere that is contagious. By consistently focusing on what you're grateful for, you can reframe your mindset, making it easier to remain calm and balanced in the face of life's challenges. The practice of gratitude helps you shift your attention away from the things that frustrate or anger you and toward the things that uplift and inspire you. Over time, this habit becomes an ingrained part of your daily routine, helping you handle even the most stressful situations with composure and ease. Gratitude empowers you to live a more positive and peaceful life, one where frustration and anger no longer hold the same power over your emotions. 7. See challenges as opportunities. Obstacles are a part of life that everyone faces, whether in our personal lives, professional careers, or even in our health journeys. How we respond to these challenges shapes our experiences and ultimately our growth. Instead of seeing these obstacles as roadblocks or burdens, it's more productive to reframe them as opportunities for growth and development. This mindset shift doesn't just make difficult situations easier to handle, but it also turns those situations into powerful lessons that can help shape a better, stronger version of ourselves. When faced with an obstacle, the initial reaction can often be frustration, helplessness, or even fear. These feelings are natural because we often want to avoid discomfort. But what if, instead of resisting these challenges, we embraced them? What if we viewed them as stepping stones that, when approached with the right mindset, can accelerate our personal growth? Every obstacle, whether it's a conflict in a relationship, a career setback, or a personal struggle, presents an opportunity to develop new skills, build resilience, and deepen our emotional strength. Consider a career setback. As an example, maybe you've applied for a job you really wanted, only to be turned down. At first, the rejection might feel like a failure, but if you reframe it, you might see it as an opportunity to improve your job application process, update your resume, or learn new skills that make you more marketable. It's an opportunity to reflect on why you didn't get the job. Was there a particular skill you lacked? Did you not communicate your experience effectively during the interview? These insights will help you grow and become better prepared for the next opportunity. The obstacle, in this case, was not an end, but a chance to learn and improve. Similarly, in our personal relationships, we can view conflict as an opportunity to grow. Disagreements or tensions are a normal part of human interaction, but instead of letting them spiral into anger or resentment, consider them opportunities for deeper understanding. For instance, if a friend or family member says something that hurts your feelings, instead of reacting with defensiveness or frustration, pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Perhaps the comment was a reflection of something they're struggling with, or maybe it brings to light something you need to address in the relationship. By using conflict as an opportunity to communicate better, set boundaries, or express your feelings, you not only resolve the issue, but you strengthen your relationship and personal emotional intelligence. In our health journeys, we're often faced with physical or emotional setbacks, such as an illness, an injury, or a lack of progress in achieving fitness goals. These situations can be discouraging, but when viewed as opportunities for growth, they provide valuable lessons. For example, if you experience a setback in your fitness routine, like an injury, instead of seeing it as an insurmountable barrier, Try reframing it as a chance to explore other forms of exercise, to focus on recovery and healing, or to learn more about how your body works. Injuries and setbacks force us to adapt and become more mindful of our limits, encouraging us to take better care of ourselves in the long term. Similarly, struggles with mental health, such as stress or anxiety, can also serve as important opportunities for growth. They may be signals that we need to adjust our lifestyle, seek help, or learn new coping strategies that can serve us in the future. Another area where embracing obstacles as growth opportunities is particularly powerful is in our personal development. Challenges help us build resilience, the ability to recover from difficulties, and grit, the perseverance to keep going despite adversity. When we face and overcome difficulties, we strengthen our character. For example, in learning a new skill, it's normal to encounter frustrations and obstacles along the way. These challenges provide a rich environment for learning. The more you push through them, the more you learn about yourself and your abilities. Each time you encounter a setback and figure out a way to overcome it, you become more resilient. This builds a deeper confidence that will help you face even greater challenges with ease. This mindset shift requires practice and a willingness to view difficulties through a different lens. When you face a challenge, instead of immediately feeling defeated, take a step back and ask yourself, how can I learn from this? What is this situation teaching me? Even if the answer isn't immediately clear, this question helps you approach the challenge with curiosity and openness rather than frustration or resistance. Here are some practical strategies you can apply. When confronted with an obstacle, reframe the situation. When a setback occurs, consciously remind yourself that it's an opportunity for growth. Ask, what skills can I develop in this situation? What strengths am I building right now? Reframing the situation in this way reduces the emotional weight and turns the challenge into a valuable experience. Focus on what you can control. It's important to accept that some things are out of our control, but there is always something we can control, our reaction. Whether it's how we respond to a difficult person or how we choose to deal with a problem, focusing on what's within your control helps you maintain a sense of agency and prevent feelings of helplessness. Reflect and learn. When you face a challenge, take time to reflect on it once the situation has passed. What did it teach you? Did it expose a weakness or a gap in your knowledge? This reflection process allows you to turn every obstacle into a lesson for future growth. Embrace change. Obstacles often signal that change is necessary. This could be a change in how we approach a task, a change in our behavior, or even a shift in our mindset. When faced with challenges, remain open to change and embrace it as part of the growth process. Practice. Patience. Growth takes time. Often, obstacles will require you to develop new habits, coping mechanisms, or skills. Be patient with yourself as you work through these challenges and give yourself grace for the learning process. As you continue to embrace obstacles as opportunities, you'll notice that your ability to handle stress improves and you begin to navigate life's ups and downs with more ease. Instead of feeling burdened by challenges, you'll develop a sense of excitement and curiosity about what each new experience can teach you. Over time, this will lead to greater resilience, self-awareness, and emotional strength. Challenges will no longer be seen as obstacles to your happiness, but as essential stepping stones in your journey of personal growth. 8. Protect your peace. In our daily lives, we often encounter people and environments that drain our energy and provoke negative emotions. These can be colleagues who are constantly critical, friends who bring unnecessary drama, or family members who refuse to respect your boundaries. While it's impossible to avoid every difficult person or situation, it's essential to recognize when you are being drained and take proactive steps to protect your peace. By limiting exposure to toxic influences, you can preserve your mental and emotional well-being, enabling you to respond to life's challenges from a place of calm and strength. The first step in protecting your peace is identifying the individuals or situations that consistently make you feel stressed, upset, or exhausted. This may be a difficult person in your social circle who always has something negative to say, a work environment that is toxic or unsupportive, or even places that trigger anxiety. Pay attention to how these people or environments affect your mood and energy. Are there specific interactions or situations that leave you feeling emotionally drained? Recognizing these patterns is key to taking control of your emotional health. For example, you may have a co-worker who regularly undermines your work, constantly points out flaws, and creates a tense atmosphere. After interacting with them, you may feel angry, frustrated, or even demotivated. Similarly, there may be a family member who tends to be negative or critical, making you feel unappreciated or hurt. These toxic influences can have a significant impact on your emotional state, especially if you're frequently exposed to them. Once you've identified the sources of negativity in your life, it's important to set boundaries. Boundaries are not about cutting people out of your life, but about protecting your time, energy, and mental health. Setting clear boundaries allows you to minimize unnecessary stress while still maintaining healthy relationships. This can involve limiting the amount of time you spend with toxic individuals, creating space between you and stressful situations, or being assertive about your needs. For example, if a friend consistently drains you with their negativity, you can set a boundary by letting them know that you need time for yourself or that you're not able to engage in negative conversations. This could look like saying, "I understand you're having a tough time, but I'm not in the right place to talk about this right now." Or, "I'd like to talk about something more positive." It's important to remember that boundaries are a form of self-respect and self-care, not a sign of rejection. Setting these boundaries helps you protect your peace while maintaining a healthy relationship. Another example is in the workplace. If you work in an environment where gossip and backstabbing are rampant, it can be difficult to maintain your composure. In such situations, set clear limits by not participating in the negativity. Politely, but firmly steer conversations away from office gossip and focus on solutions or positive discussions instead. If the toxicity persists, consider speaking to your supervisor about the work environment or exploring ways to shift your responsibilities to reduce exposure to the toxic behavior. While limiting exposure to toxic people is important, it's equally crucial to spend time in environments and with people who uplift and support you. Surrounding yourself with positive, encouraging influences will help you recharge emotionally and maintain a healthy mindset. Engage with people who inspire and motivate you, those who make you feel valued, heard, and understood. This could be friends who make you laugh, family members who offer unconditional support, or colleagues who collaborate and celebrate each other's successes. Being around people who bring positivity into your life can significantly enhance your resilience when faced with challenges. Self-care is another essential aspect of protecting your peace. Engaging in activities that recharge your mind and body can help counterbalance the drain from toxic people or situations. Whether it's taking a walk in nature, practicing mindfulness, journaling, or spending time on a hobby you enjoy, these activities allow you to reconnect with yourself and replenish your energy. Make self-care a priority in your routine, especially if you find yourself in a high-stress or emotionally demanding environment. The more time you dedicate to nurturing yourself, the more resilient you'll become in dealing with negative influences. An example of incorporating self-care is setting aside a specific time each day for a relaxing activity that helps you de-stress. This could mean spending 10 minutes meditating before bed, practicing yoga in the morning, or even taking a warm bath to unwind. These small acts of self-care can make a big difference in maintaining a sense of balance and tranquility, regardless of the negativity around you. Finally, remember that protecting your peace doesn't mean avoiding all difficult people or situations. Instead, it's about striking a balance, recognizing when to engage and when to step back. By setting clear boundaries, focusing on self-care, and surrounding yourself with positive influences, you'll find that you can handle life's challenges with greater ease and composure. Protecting your peace is not a selfish act, but a necessary one for your mental and emotional health. When you prioritize your well-being, you'll be better equipped to deal with life's difficulties and remain calm, collected, and centered no matter what comes your way. Actionable tip. Start by identifying the people or situations that consistently drain you. Create boundaries where necessary, such as limiting your time with certain individuals or reducing exposure to stressful environments. Incorporate self-care practices into your daily routine and make sure to nurture relationships that uplift and support you. This proactive approach will help protect your peace and enable you to navigate life's challenges with a calm and centered mindset. 9. Transform conflict with calmness. Conflict is a natural and unavoidable part of life, whether it's a disagreement with a coworker, a misunderstanding with a friend, or a tense moment in a family relationship. It's easy to feel defensive or upset when we're confronted with a challenging situation, especially when it feels like our beliefs or actions are being criticized. But when we react impulsively, we risk worsening the situation and losing control over our emotions. Instead, choosing to remain calm and composed during conflicts is not only more empowering, but it also opens the door to healthier, more constructive dialogue. When you choose to stay calm in the face of conflict, you automatically create a safer environment for both parties involved. Tension and hostility often arise from both individuals feeling misunderstood or unheard, which leads to defensiveness and aggression. By keeping your emotions in check, you signal that you are willing to listen and engage respectfully, which can help the other person lower their defenses and approach the conversation with more openness. Staying calm shows that you are not emotionally triggered by the situation, which can encourage others to follow suit and contribute to a more peaceful and productive exchange of ideas. One of the most effective tools for managing conflict with composure is active listening. This requires fully focusing on what the other person is saying, rather than preparing your response or thinking about how to defend yourself. When we're upset, it's tempting to focus on our own thoughts and reactions, but this can prevent us from truly understanding the other person's perspective. Instead of assuming you know the other person's intent or jumping to conclusions, make sure to listen intently, reflect their feelings, and clarify what they mean before responding. This not only ensures you're accurately understanding their point of view, but also demonstrates that you are genuinely interested in resolving the conflict rather than escalating it. For example, imagine that a colleague criticizes your work in front of the team. Instead of immediately becoming defensive or arguing, take a moment to listen to their feedback. Instead of thinking about how you can defend your position, focus on understanding why they feel the way they do and how their feedback can be used constructively. You could say something like, "Thank you for your input. I see how that could have been done better. Can we discuss how I can improve it going forward?" This response acknowledges the other person's viewpoint while shifting the focus toward growth and collaboration. Another effective approach is to practice mindful breathing during moments of tension. When our emotions are triggered, it's easy for our bodies to go into a fight or flight response, which can make it even harder to stay calm. By incorporating deep, mindful breathing, you can slow down your body's stress response and center yourself before responding. In the heat of a disagreement, simply taking a few deep breaths can help lower your heart rate and bring clarity to your thoughts. A simple breathing exercise such as inhaling deeply for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, and then exhaling for 4 seconds can be a powerful tool to help you regain control and prevent your emotions from taking over. In addition to mindful breathing, counting to 5 before responding can also create a buffer between emotional reactions and your actions. During a tense moment, it's easy to get swept away by the intensity of the situation. However, counting to 5 allows you to momentarily step back from the situation and regain perspective. When you pause before speaking, you give yourself a chance to reflect on your words, ensure that they align with your values, and avoid saying something you might later regret. For example, imagine you're having a disagreement with a close friend, and they say something hurtful. Instead of immediately retaliating or arguing, try silently counting to 5. During that time, take a deep breath and think about the situation objectively. Do you want to respond with anger or with a desire to resolve the conflict? The pause helps you create the space needed to respond thoughtfully, which can lead to a much more productive and peaceful conversation. It's also crucial to approach conflict with curiosity and empathy, rather than assuming you know why the other person is upset or what their intentions are. Approach the situation with an open mind. Try to understand the root cause of their behavior. What are they experiencing that may be influencing their actions? Are they under stress, feeling misunderstood, or struggling with something unrelated to you? By putting yourself in their shoes, you can better understand their point of view, which allows you to respond with kindness rather than anger. For example, if someone cuts in front of you in line at the store, instead of reacting with frustration or anger, ask yourself, what might be going on for them right now? Perhaps they're in a rush, distracted, or dealing with something difficult in their personal life. Taking a moment to consider their situation can help you maintain empathy, and you might decide that it's not worth getting upset over. Responding with kindness, like politely pointing out the line, can help diffuse the situation and prevent it from escalating. Another way to handle conflict calmly is to avoid making assumptions. We often interpret others' actions based on our own emotions and biases, which can lead to misunderstandings. Instead of assuming that someone's behavior is intended to harm or frustrate you, try to clarify their intentions first. If someone raises their voice, for instance, it may not be a personal attack, but rather a reflection of their own frustration or stress. Instead of reacting defensively, ask questions to better understand their perspective. This helps avoid jumping to conclusions and fosters a more peaceful interaction. A good practice is to repeat back what the other person has said, making sure you fully understand their point of view. For example, it seems like you're frustrated with the delay in the project. Can you tell me more about what's bothering you? This not only shows that you are listening, but also gives the other person an opportunity to clarify their feelings. In addition, focusing on solutions rather than problems can help steer a conflict toward resolution. When emotions are running high, it's easy to get bogged down in complaints or blame. However, shifting the conversation toward finding a solution allows both parties to move forward. Rather than dwelling on what went wrong, ask questions like, what can we do to fix this? Or how can we prevent this issue in the future? This helps to diffuse negative emotions and create a collaborative mindset. Ultimately, remaining calm during conflict is a powerful way to foster better communication and build stronger relationships. By choosing to respond thoughtfully, listening actively, and focusing on solutions, you not only resolve the conflict more peacefully, but also improve your ability to handle future challenges. Staying calm is a sign of strength, not weakness, and it empowers you to face even the most difficult situations with grace and understanding. Actionable tip. The next time you find yourself in a conflict, take a moment to breathe deeply and pause before reacting. Focus on understanding the other person's perspective and responding with empathy and curiosity. This approach will help you navigate challenging situations calmly and effectively, leading to better communication and healthier relationships. Mastering your emotions is not about denying or suppressing them, but rather about learning how to manage and respond to them with intention and thoughtfulness. Emotions are a natural part of being human, and trying to ignore or bottle them up can lead to further stress and frustration. Instead, emotional mastery involves recognizing your emotions as they arise, understanding their triggers, and choosing how to respond in a way that aligns with your values and goals. This practice allows you to navigate life's challenges with a sense of calm, poise, and clarity. By applying these 9 powerful lessons, you can break free from the emotional cycle of anger, frustration, and stress that often hold you back. These lessons are designed to help you reshape your responses, focusing on what you can control and how you can shift your perspective to maintain a sense of inner peace. As you incorporate these strategies into your daily life, you'll notice a shift not only in your emotional reactions, but also in the quality of your relationships, as you become more understanding, compassionate, and resilient. This journey toward emotional mastery empowers you to handle adversity with grace and strength. Life will always present challenges, difficult people, unexpected setbacks, and stressful situations, but your ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively will allow you to navigate those challenges with ease. Rather than being overwhelmed or shaken by life's curveballs, you'll find yourself becoming more adaptable, more confident in your ability to handle anything that comes your way. As you continue to cultivate emotional mastery, you will experience a profound sense of peace and self-assurance. You'll no longer feel at the mercy of your emotions, but instead, you'll be the one steering your emotional responses. This sense of control not only brings relief from stress, but also enhances your overall well-being, helping you to lead a more fulfilling and balanced life. The emotional resilience you build will support you in all aspects of your life, whether in personal relationships, at work, or in challenging situations. And you'll find yourself better equipped to handle whatever the world throws your way with grace, understanding, and composure. So take the first step towards mastering your emotions today. With consistent practice and commitment, you can unlock the freedom that comes with emotional balance and live your life with greater ease and fulfillment. Life is unpredictable, but your ability to respond thoughtfully and with wisdom will empower you to face any challenge without being shaken. If you found these lessons helpful and are ready to take control of your emotions and live a calmer, more resilient life, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss out on future videos that will help you navigate life's challenges with confidence. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below and share any strategies that work for you when it comes to staying calm in difficult situations. Let's start a conversation and support each other on this journey toward emotional mastery.